welcome to The Commit, episode 6, here from DevPost HQ in Meatpacking, New York City. I'm Richard.
I'm Neil Sham.
Neil, what have we got in this week's episode?
Some cool stuff. We've got a new online hackathon from Wacom. We've got a great interview with my buddy Mike from Small Planet.
And as always, we've got staff picks, our favorite projects from the recent hackathons. Neil, tell us about this new online hackathon.
Sure. This week we launched Wacom's Inkathon, which features the new Will SDK, which is Wacom's Ink layer language. And so the goal of this hackathon is to actually build apps that enable sort of a more natural input on mobile and digital devices. The Will SDK supports both just touch input, like you would use on your phone, or a digital stylus, like...
Oh, so if I have like a Bamboo, I can use that in this?
Yeah, a Bamboo, an S Pen, anything like that.
That's
so
cool.
There's some really cool stuff there. Please check it out. There's also over $50,000 in prizes. And like
when
I
are
said,
submissions due on this?
November 6th.
That's awesome. And so, Neil, let's move on to Mike and the interview about being a producer at Small Planet.
Yeah, you know what? Let's just cut to it right now. So Mike, you're a mobile producer. Now I know what producers do in music, television, and movies, but what does a producer do with respect to app development?
So at Small Planet, the producers play a couple different roles. We're the client liaison. We do all of the, we manage all of the communication with the client. And then we also work very closely with a team of designers and developers on the different projects that we work on.
So do you think it's easier to go into market iOS first, or do you have to come in with both platforms now at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, historically, we have found that at first people were only focused on iOS, and then we found that more and more clients were coming in, at least saying that they would like to do a cross-platform rollout, but then when push came to shove, realizing that they really were prioritizing iOS. But more and more, we're seeing that people really do mean a cross-platform rollout, and we're looking at simultaneous releases both on iOS and Android.
Now you've worked a lot with in-app purchases for some of your bigger clients. What advice do you have for developers considering the IAP model?
Sure. You know, in-app purchase, it can be tricky. A lot of the brands that we've implemented in-app purchase with have been major entertainment brands, and they've had brand equity to really help their cause. But what we found is that when you do develop a feature that users want more of, when you can streamline that development process and really make it as efficient as possible, then it can be a profitable endeavor if you have something that people want.
Right, and so it can't be a cheap, like just have to get it out the door thing. It still has to be valuable, but you are looking for kind of like reduce the marginal cost of every new thing.
Yeah, and that's actually been one of the challenges. You know, when you're working on an app that has a long stream of in-app purchase products that you're releasing, especially when they are iterations on the same type of feature, it's really about quality control, and it's really about maintaining that level of quality that your users expect and that has made them loyal to your application.
Right, you don't want to just release a widget in green, you want it to be something that feels new.
Right, yep.
Cool. I'm sure you get a lot of inbound requests about building new apps for people. How do you identify projects that you want to take on and sort of protect yourself from really time-wasting things?
Yeah, I guess as much as you can, do the due diligence to learn about the project. You know, what are the business objectives? What are the goals that the person with the idea has? You know, what is their schedule? Try to figure out if it seems like their goals are realistic. You know, as a developer, you know about user experience and you know about the platform that you're developing on. So you can try to get a sense of if their idea is feasible, and if they are sort of, you know, if their ideas are achievable, and if it's something that you're passionate about as well.
Cool, Neil. That was a great interview with Mike. Really
Absolutely.
Interesting things to say. So, staff picks. What's your choice this week?
This week I chose Bikester, at least I think that's how you pronounce it. It's from Hack the Planet, which was a really great hackathon just this past weekend at the Computer Museum.
Yeah, at the Computer Science History Museum out in San Francisco, run by our friends at Major League Hacking.
We couldn't make it, but we saw some really cool projects on the live stream. And so what was really cool about Bikester is that it's actually a smart rear view camera for your motorcycle. There was a lot of really cool motorcycle hacks. And it uses computer vision to determine if a car that's approaching you from behind is moving too fast. And if it's moving too fast, it alerts you on your Pebble wristwatch so you can get out of the way and not get hit.
That's really cool.
Right? There's some pretty cool stuff there. And so there was a lot of CV algorithm work that went into actually determining how fast that car is moving.
Yeah, that was what was most impressive to me, was the ability to like look at that image and see how fast the car was approaching.
Yeah, it's a really cool project, so definitely check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
And Richard, what did you pick this week?
So my pick this week is Purchase Mate. And Purchase Mate was made by Kira, Campbell, Jacob, and Simone. It was demoed at the Outbox Incubator Demo Day in London this weekend. When people are shopping, they can scan items and actually see sourcing, producer, and company information all about this to help them make kind of ethical decisions.
Yeah, there's cool stuff like political contributions. I think their UN humanity rank.
Yep. It's really cool. And I think what's the interesting thing is this is potentially a viable business as well. And I think it actually won Best Investable at the demo day.
Yeah.
Because they can actually sell then information on the companies about what is it that that consumers are actually looking for. Really
Right.
cool. Awesome. So that's it for this week on The Commit. Thanks for joining us.
And don't forget, tell your friends to subscribe to us on YouTube. And soon, I think next week we'll have it, you'll also be able to subscribe on iTunes.
Awesome. Happy hacking.
Happy hacking, everyone.